So the big news over the last couple days has been the response to Metroid Prime 4. And look, this has been a game that for some people has been 18 years in the making. Long ass time spread over multiple console generations. I mean, what were you doing 18 years ago? Like, when was that?
I don't even know what I was.
You were probably doing fentanyl, Flawed.
I was 18.
Oh, sorry.
I was doing Adderall.
Okay, there we go.
Different all.
Well, think about whatever you were doing 18 years ago, and now that thing has been released, and whatever it is. So Metroid Prime 4 is out, and the response has been pretty okay. A lot of people, it's like averaging like a 7.5 or an 8, right? Which, when something is released after 18 years of development and been scrapped so many times and rewritten and all this stuff, naturally you're not going to make everybody happy. And the best you can do is hopefully it feels as close to 1 through 3 as it possibly could. And one of the big things in the new Metroid Prime game is the addition of a motorcycle or a motorbike that you get around town in. And when I say get around town, I mean a giant fucking desert here. Now, this is Andre, who is the founder of Game Explain, who is a pretty big YouTube channel here. And he says, I genuinely think about the desert would have been about 3 times better if they put some banging music behind it. It just feels so vapid. So here is think of this like the giant field in Ocarina of Time. That's kind of like your centralized hub that you move from place to place in, right? And that's kind of the premise here. But let's get a little bit of gameplay to give an example of this. Video games, am I right? So
music.
Glad you brought that up. And that was the initial point of this tweet, was that, hey, man, this would be really great if there was some music behind it. It just kind of feels empty, which I get it. It's a desert, right? It's supposed to feel that way. But it was pointed out that there's actually a collectible Samus amiibo that if you buy this Samus amiibo, you get to play and select music while driving around in said desert.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's paywalled.
Correct. In other words,
crazy.
They locked music while riding around a desert behind a paywall. Now,
that's crazy.
How much do you think that amiibo is?
$10.
Okay.
Amiibos are getting expensive now, so I think
I only have one.
I think it's like 20. I would say at least $25.
Yeah. Kay, you're an amiibo expert, right?
A little bit. I used to collect a lot of them. I could tell you the price. I'm pretty sure I know.
Well, go ahead.
I think it's probably like $30, I guess.
Correct.
For some background music.
$29.99.
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
That's
Wow.
For some background music.
Yes. $29.99 for you to get that right here. And this has been pointed out by many, many people that, look, this is Nintendo doing what Nintendo does. And it's one of those things that you don't think about until it's actually thought about. And you say, oh, wait, so the music that's already on the game, I got to pay $30 to get, right? I got
a bold strategy.
Well, we'll see how it works. But one thing that's interesting is this was pointed out by a lot of people. It says Xbox or PlayStation would have faced a shitstorm for this. Only Nintendo can paywall in-game music for $30 and get away with it. And
That's
this dude,
wild.
they're not wrong.
It's true.
They're not wrong. Not wrong here. So yeah, you got your $30 amiibo here, which, hey, if you're up for it, you can go out and grab it and get your background music while making your way around the desert right there. This was pointed out by this is not the first time this has happened. As this is Beat 'em Up Woods over on X says, wait till this guy hears about the Loftwing amiibo and the Skyward Sword HD and Skyward Sword HD. Nintendo's done things like this before, where they put music and that's more or less what the amiibos have turned into is physical in-game DLC. So, any thoughts, Phoenix? I would love to hear your thoughts on this in particular.
It's obviously a dick move. That's ridiculous. I'm a little surprised that Retro Studios, obviously, I was going to say allow it, but obviously Nintendo takes charge there. But I'm almost wondering if I'm going to play devil's advocate, and it's heavy devil's advocate, that Retro Studios didn't want music there. And because that's what they wanted that isolation feel. And then Nintendo saw an opportunity. Again, I don't think that's the case, but if I had to try to figure something out, that they just, all right, well, we'll give them as an addition to it as opposed to taking something away. But no, I think it's a terrible look, especially, and it's a terrible move, period. I think it's horrible. $30 for that is garbage.
I think that's interesting to hear the devil's advocate side of things. And by the way, your microphone may be the worst of them all.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I hear like background, like fan noise or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you next to a fan?
Sort of.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. that actually sounds way better.
That worked.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. But here's the thing: some of these amiibos, going back to price charting, you can buy these things, and I'm actually going to go back to something we did a long ass time ago, but I'll do that here in just a second. But some of these amiibos are actually pretty damn expensive according to price charting. This has become a collectible thing. You can see the Mega Man 11 Mega Man amiibos, $50. This Yarn Yoshi is $167. Like, these are all pretty damn pricey.
253 is crazy.
Damn.
So I'll tell you what, Kay, I have a note specifically on our run sheet that says Kay knows all about these amiibos. She used to stand in line for them. Tell us.
I did.
Tell us about your weird obsession.
I have like 3 boxes myself of amiibos, and James also used to collect them separately. And him and I have been dating for a long time, but we were even collecting them before we started dating. That's how long we've been collecting them for. So we looked at our collection, we're like, holy crap. But I stood in line for a first edition Marth, and I got the last one, and I stood in that line for like 2 hours because I'm such a Fire Emblem simp. I'm like, I need that Marth. So I was that person. I remember that, like, we had a chat with our friends to be like, oh, like, if you're at this store, go get me this one and I'll grab you this one. So like one person would like go to Best Buy to get Meta Knight, and the other person would be like, go get me a Kirby, and we'd all like get one each and be able to like have them, because it was so hard to get them when they first came out. And they were $12.99 at the time. It was a steal. Like, it felt like amazing. It was like, here's these new Nintendo collectibles, and they look great on a shelf. You can either keep them in the box and put them like on a hook on the wall, or you can pull them out and it looks great. So it really, like, at the time, it was so exciting to just run around and like collect all of them. I feel like I should do a stream at some point, just unboxing, not like ripping the boxes open, but like just going through my boxes, because I have tons. And it used to be an event. Like, I even stopped lining up at midnight for video games, but I was still lining up for amiibos.
Damn.
I'm fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Now they're not worth it. Now they're like $30 minimum. It's crazy. And the 2 packs are like $50.
So if I can tie...
Yes, wow, shocker. The person that talks about video games and likes them as a nerd. We're so
I know, and
surprised by the
I love that.
situation.
I love that about you. I love that about you, Kay. So, do you guys remember when the amiibos were like the rage when they first came out? They were the big thing.
Not in my hood.
Not in your hood, huh?
Not in my hood.
No.
We wanted drugs.
For some people, the amiibo was drugs. I mean, this was they were straight hook it to my
I was
veins.
that person. It was my drug.
Kay, I think you're going to really appreciate this. Actually, in 2016, before I left Screw Attack, we did an event called the Amiibo Cockfight, and the premise of this was you bring your amiibos. Actually, I think what we did was we had. We gave everybody on our staff an amiibo, and we had them power it up, because you powered up through Smash Brothers. And then we would have them compete in a computer versus computer Smash Brothers matchup, and the loser actually got destroyed like on stage.
The amiibo?
Yeah, the amiibo itself
Oh.
got destroyed. And actually, I found this footage of this is from way back then, 2016, of this event where people were coming in and being a part of it. This is at SGC, this event we did, and this was one of my favorite events. We had an executioner on stage. People would bring they would bring their amiibos up, and they'd be like, "Let me do it," and bring your amiibo to us, and they would compete. And then we would go and absolutely put them in a blender, or we had a saw on stage. It was so much fun.
Did you do that to those precious amiibos? Oh God.
That was the idea.
Oh.
It was so much fun to do. We had a packed house for it. And you would see when their amiibo lost, they went into the Iron Maiden here, and they would eventually just get destroyed on stage.
Dying right now.
This is like really breaking me right now.
What the
This is nuts, bro.
Isn't that awesome?
Fuck it.
Incredible production, but my God, this hurts my soul. Like as a collector, it's so painful to watch.
Yeah.
That was kind of the whole idea of it. Was you were so into it, you had to give it up, and ultimately people were. That's
I was
funny.
about to say, what's this kid's fucking problem?
What?
He is like,
Discount Camelot.
It was fun times. So, anyways, good times back then. So, I got a titty twister there. So, good times back then. And I don't know, having your heart break from these amiibos was it's actually kind of fun to watch. Kate, that was literally the exact point.
Oh my God. Imagine spending, because you train those amiibos, right? Like you put them into the game and then you fight them and they learn from you. And so imagine training up for that event and you're like with this amiibo, and then all of a sudden you lose after like months of training it and you see it crushed before you. There's so much about that that's painful.
It was really fun.
That's awful.
Maybe we should bring this back just for UK. Like we had a little gimp.
Me devastated.
We had a little gimp on stage bringing up it's offering us. So this is so stupid. It was so fun. Anyways, yeah. So Kay, would you be interested? Yeah. Oh yeah. It was very elaborate. Would you be interested in doing this again, Kay? If we were to bring back the amiibo cockfight?
I have to do it. Yeah. I have to train it to
gotta do
win. Yeah.
Phoenix, what do you think about this?
I think it's actually a great idea. I think that's a hell of an idea for an event. What was the worst torture that he did? Execution, rather.
So this was the you can see he put it in
That's the Jason.
Liquid nitrogen.
put it in liquid nitrogen and just busted it with a hammer. Yeah, there are pieces of these amiibos getting like tossed into the crowd, and you see we have this rickety old barbed wire. Yeah, it's okay. It's fun times though, man. Anyways, so I don't remember all the different things that we had made for this, but yeah, I think this was my little Mac right here that got crushed. So he's gonna bust out a hammer. You're gonna see this thing just get wrecked here.
I waited in line for an hour for a little Mac. I can't imagine watching you get destroyed for that. Oh God.
You'll see it go. Play to the crowd a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe we should think about bringing this back. Amiibos aren't that popular now. I mean, I guess they are kind of popular, but they're not like they were then. Oh, there you go, and it's gone. So,
like I have a ton. We can make it happen.
My question is, how did you find an executioner for amiibos?
Oh, he was one of the guys on our staff.
Craigslist.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, how the hell do you find one? Did you just Google like, I need an executioner for amiibos, please?
Yeah.
No, that was Sean.
He high in demand.
Yeah.
That's their career. They go around.
It's on Fiverr.
Yeah, they go around executing amiibos around the world. You gotta book them in advance, 6 months in advance.
Look at their resume.
This genuinely devastated me.
Chat says Craigslist.
I love everything about that. It makes me happy. Makes me happy.
Craigslist.
That's good. Well, so in addition, that's not the this is not the only time that we've seen a little bit of controversy around Metroid Prime 4. If I could bring it back, I will. A lot of the conversation has been about the actual conversation in this game. And Phoenix, I know we talked about the side characters here. There was initial talk about the guy in yellow. I don't remember his name at this point, but that all turned out
Miles or something like that.
Yeah, Miles.
Yeah. Well, there was footage of about a 30-second clip this morning of an interaction that Samus had with an NPC here, and you'll kind of see this interaction. This is not what I expect when I play a Metroid game.
Sarge!
Armstrong, you all right?
I'm good. You?
Yes.
While I was waiting, I was studying this hologram. I just... Well... Samus? It's really you. I don't even know what to say. Is this a new suit? It's amazing. I love it. I love it so
Private.
much. Yes, sir.
A suit is hard.
It is a nice suit, yeah. With that said,
Insufferable.
Gay.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Extremely gay.
I actually spoke to a friend who actually works in the animation guild, and he said that a bunch of people from the animation guild worked and like storyboarded that. A lot of the dialogue sequences and stuff like that, the really cringe moments. And there's a lot of woke and gay people in the animation industry, especially in IATSE and TAG, which is the animation guild. Very, very gay, very, very progressive, and like leftist people work there.
Makes sense.
funny you mentioned that.
It feels like a studio note to me, though. Like, this game has been in production hell for a long time. And I know that Nintendo, again, Kay, do you know if it was like 2 iterations of the game were canceled? Does that sound familiar to you?
I know of at least 1 iteration, but it's 2 sounds about right. I mean, 18 years? Yeah, there's got to be multiple iterations at that point, right?
So Metroid has never been a huge, it's Nintendo's biggest seller. So again, I'm just trying to figure out why this happened. So my guess is that there was a studio note that it's not, clearly this is not a big moneymaker. We need to bring in a new audience. I'd be curious to see if this is hitting a younger audience, if this is catering to them a little bit more, because maybe the quiet, serene loneliness of Metroid was not working, and Nintendo worried and was like, we need to add a little bit more excitement to this. We need to have more characters, more humor, things like that to bring in a new audience, because this feels like a studio note to me.
You kind of cooked. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good point.
I don't understand.
Is playing Metroid.
Right. What member of today's modern audience is going back and like check and gonna hop in on Metroid Prime 4?
Well, I think that's the idea. They want to try to bring in somebody, because otherwise, like, Retro Studios knows what they're doing. They made 3 incredible, arguably incredible Metroid games. To have such a departure from that original, that quiet, serene Metroid experience with such a loud exclamation mark seems to me like some producer or someone came in and says, here's what we need to do. We need to add X, Y, and Z to this new Prime 4 for a new direction, because that's what it feels like to me.
It's been a gradual thing, though, because I think Prime 3 also had some quirkiness as well. And also, we know Other M, of course. That's like the black sheep. But I think it's been gradual, but it feels like it's like super dialed up in this one in comparison. So it's maybe just an introduction to the Prime series. Like Prime 1 and 2, I don't think have too much of that, but 3 I've heard has a lot of that.
Well, there was there was a lot of talk about the actual writer of Metroid Prime 4. And when you go to her Twitter handle, it says that this is what she did. And it's all about Metroid Prime 4 and the release of it and such. This is a lady named Tracy Nicoletti here. And people obviously are intrigued where this person came from and how this person got the job. But they also found some really interesting things. You were talking about the progressive nature of this industry. And found a couple interesting retweets over here. I'm not concerned about males transitioning to females. I'm concerned about Americans transitioning to Nazis.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
checks out.
Yep, we got that, and here it is right here. This is cosplaying there. Very progressive young lady. This Tracy Nicoletti here was literally shedding tears during our former president's speech in 2020.
Wow.
And
was it the Choco Chip that was so emotional?
That's probably when we fell off the bike.
Yeah.
And also was beyond happy. Went out and did a little celebrating back in 2020. And this is before the world went to absolute hell. There's that.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the cutscene here when it comes to Metroid Prime 4, this is a pretty funny viral meme. Metroid Prime 4 cutscene, the private. Oh my God, my Heckarino. Is that really you, Samus? I don't even know what to say right now. Is that a new suit? Like, heck, one of these Japanese video games, you know? You get it? Video games? Wow, it's amazing. I love it. Slay. Samus just kind of looking back here like. But, you know, here, a lot of people are actually picking up the game. And one of the big things that you see when it comes to these games is people like to 100% the games. And this has been this is not the first time this happened with Nintendo games, but apparently if you are playing through Metroid Prime 4, the in-game autosaves and will lock you to a spot where you can't go back for 100% completion even after you beat the game. So when you're warned you're about to enter the end game, you should make a backup. So, and you know, if you are going to go back and play through the entire game, just a heads up. I know that's one of those things that happens in Zelda as well. I think it happened in Twilight Princess. So not a huge fan of that. That's like one of my personal pet peeves in video games is when you finish a game, and this is more of a classic thing than I think it is today. When you finish a game and you're not able to exit after the credits, like I fucking hate that. I've always hated that. That would literally be a make or break thing for me when I could play through an entire game. And if I can't restart the game without pressing start or hitting a button to restart and go back to the title screen, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with that shit. But is that just a me thing?
Yeah.
It might be a bit of a utism, but
Yeah.
I guess it's because I haven't played a game in a long time. It's had that. It was definitely a more retro thing.
Yeah, very retro.
So you don't have to really worry about that anymore, but that's just modern hardware.
I feel like they just didn't want to code like resets. Like, you know, that all the in-game logic, they didn't feel like resetting it. So you just have to hard restart the game.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
My modern equivalent pet peeve is when New Game Plus is locked behind DLC. So I love doing New Game Plus. Tales of Games has that a lot. And then you go in and like all the like grades and stuff that you got from before, you can use that as currency to like buy power-ups for your next run. So I tend to like roll into new runs. But I think it was one of the Yakuza games, Like a Dragon, where they literally locked the New Game Plus behind DLC. You had to pay extra for New Game Plus. And to me, that is just like, that should be baked into the game. You should never lock a New Game Plus behind, hey, give us $20, and then you can play again with your extra stuff that you had. What?
Agreed.
That's messed up.
Otherwise, you're just playing the you got to buy a new game. It's more or less you're buying a sequel. That's pretty.
Yeah. So that's I think the modern equivalent of it, which is bullshit.
We're growing. Grow with us. Hit that subscribe button. Don't make it weird. Not like that. That's weird.